Kazakhstan is one of the most multinational countries which gathered representatives of more than 130 ethnicities and nations. Each ethnicity has unique traditions, inimitable holidays, interesting stories and amazing recipes. Recipes of kindness and peace, recipes of respect to your own roots and other people's culture, recipes for friendship.
Hello, this is the recipe for friendship. My name is Alevtina Madjarova and today we will go out on a visit. And the guests are the key word here. After all, the hospitality is the most important among all the traditions of the representatives of the ethnos of which we will speak today. So who is in the focus of the program today? The Uzbeks of Kazakhstan. There are almost 500,000 Uzbeks in Kazakhstan, and this is the third largest ethnic group in Kazakhstan. And it is not surprising because they are our closest neighbors and their culture is similar to ours. When we hear about Uzbek culture, aromatic pilaf, food-tapping dances, bright outfits made of adras and kanatlas, and of course samsa, of which there are many varieties, immediately come to mind. Uzbeks have long been known as excellent culinary specialists and tillers, musicians and artisans. What we will see today in the episode, we will touch the secrets of ancient pottery. A few minutes under the guidance of an experienced master and there is a real thing is being created right in your hands. Alive, warm, smooth, as if even speaking. We will listen to ancient national music we will learn to make delicious homemade samsa. In general, do you often do samsa at home? Yes, it is obligatory for guests. We have a ready-made dough in the refrigerator, we prepare it, then put it inside. Are all the ingredients ready in advance? Yes. We will enjoy classic Fergana pilaf. And what is your favorite type of pilaf? Usually we cook pilaf with the brown rice. Devzira? Yes, we use devzira. And of course we will get acquainted with remarkable people. The talents of Uzbek artisans are glorified in many songs and books, and carving and carpet weaving, embroidery and embossing. Genj carving and jewelry are widely known among traditional kinds of arts and crafts. Pottery and ceramics are the most important in this list. This pitcher brought from the cellar in the early days was a handsome man in love. This is not an ear on the throat of a pitcher, but hand that embraces beloved woman's neck. Today, thanks to the master Abdul Wahid, who kindly invited us to his place, we won't comprehend, but we will be able to touch the basics of pottery skill. And to be honest, I'm very excited about that. Abdul Wahid Bukhari has been fascinated by the pottery and painting of ceramics since his childhood when he got into training to the master. And we met in Almaty when the master gave a masterclass for students of the Zhuganov Academy. The special pride of this master is the revival of the almost lost stale recipe for the glaze, known as ishkur. Amazing blue shades created exclusively organically without the addition of synthetic dyes almost exactly echoes the creations of old masters, only fragments of which have reached the present day. Everything today is perfect. The weather has improved and the work is going on and the mood is good, as it should be. What will it be? Is this a tall, wide jug? No, at first to spin something out, we're doing it a little bit. The opportunity to sit behind the potter's wheel feeling like a beginner ceramist, even for a short time, it is a special feeling, although during exhibitions and masterclasses, Abdul Wahid is ready to offer such an opportunity to anyone, and under the supervision of a master, you may create your first. When I look at your movements, it seems quite easy. You see, I fix my hands so that clay does not lead. And when you work, for example, hold a lump, do not immediately take your hands off. It requires smooth movements. Well, it can be hardly called a masterpiece, but there is still something to strive for, isn't there? Do not press so hard, you can tear it off. The thickness is appropriate. The work is going on full swing under the supervision of the master. If something starts to go wrong, the master will always fix it. Correct the crown with a sponge so that it is rounded. Yes, like this. Hold it, hold it, hold it. A few minutes under the guidance of an experienced master and there is a real thing is being created right in your hands. Alive, warm, smooth, as if even speaking. Equally fascinating part, painting. Here the master shows the talent of the true artist. The proprietary feature of Abdul Wahid, in addition to the blue shades of the Ishkor, is almost white, exclusively elegant items, which he adorns with goodwill, filled with Arabic script. Beautiful, isn't it? Now, with your permission, a few words about Uzbek musical instruments. One of the most beloved is perhaps doira. It is a tambourine with one percussion surface and it sets the rhythm of the entire ensemble. The performer beats out the shot using fingers on both hands, simultaneously shaking the instrument so that the rhythmic beats are accompanied by the ringing of rings that are located along the perimeter. The rubab is a string instrument. It came in the Middle East from the Arabian countries and its voice is generally recognizable. Varieties of the rubab under different names can be found among different ethnicities of the East. The Afghan, Pamir, Dulan, Kashgar and other rubabs are well known. The most popular options are Tajik and Kashgar. An interesting fact, the same tool can be found in Northern Africa, and here's the surprise, in Spain. You cannot ignore the dutar. Its name translates as two strings, and it was created in the 15th century. At first, the shepherds who played the dutar made his strings from the guts of animals. With the development of the Silk Road, the strings of dutar became silk. Gejak is a bowed instrument. It is a close relative of the Persian kemanchi. The gejak is not constant in the number of strings. Sometimes it is two-stringed, sometimes three. In modern music, a four-string guitar is used more often. The music performed by the ensemble is the melodies of the Khwarezm region, and among the national rhythms of that region, people can often hear the accordion. In the same musical accompaniment, the famous dance Lazgi and cheerful Poka-Pok, about which we told in one of the past programs, is performed. However, fine words butter no parsnips, and Uzbeks, having invited the guest, do not let him go without having treated him with plav. However, at first, other dishes are served on the table. We are incredibly lucky today. Besides the fact that we are invited to visit a real right Uzbek house, we will also learn how to prepare real, as it should be, Uzbek samsa. From puff pastry, tender, delicious, different kinds of samsa. Zamira opa, gulnora opa, mahroba opa are my new acquaintances, and literally any minute now and we will start cooking. Samsa is a dish that can be found in Central Asia everywhere. There are many varieties of samsa. In different regions, in different cultures, samsa can be different. Even each housewife has her own subtleties and secrets in the preparation of dough and minced meat, which are the basic of samsa. This is our puff pastry. 400 grams of water. For 1 kilogram of water we put 400 grams of water there, and 100 to 150 grams of any kind of butter or oil, vegetable oil or butter or margarine, and a teaspoon of salt. Well, and the most difficult is probably to roll it out for quite a long time. Yes, we roll out, then wrap again and again. Well, today I was saved from these difficulties. Yes, the dough is ready. Ready dough, yes. There is samsa which is cooked in tandoor and in a frying pan, in the oven, or even inside a cauldron with pilaf. Each square for one samsa? Yes. Do I need to roll it hard? Yes, hard, but only the edges. Roll out and I'll make them. Here we have ready minced meat, and this is the green stuffing from greens and spinach and minced meat. In the spring we cook samsa with greenery. I even saw a clover at the market. Clover can be added too. You can even add dandelions, as they say. Yes, dandelions can also be used. Leaves of dandelions? Yes. So we add everything that we want. Yes, you can add everything you like. In general, is samsa one of the main dishes? Yes, it is popular in the Uzbek cuisine. We usually cook it for guests. Uzbek housewives are always ready for the arrival of guests by default. Therefore, ingredients for the most popular dishes are always in the fridge. Whenever you come on a visit to an Uzbek home, rest assured you will certainly be invited to the table. Everything begins, of course, with tea, sweets, dried fruits, nuts. All this is always in the house. In general, do you often do samsa at home? Yes, it is obligatory for guests. We have a ready-made dough in the refrigerator, we prepare it and then put it inside. Are all the ingredients ready in advance? Yes. Here is the samsa, hot and hot. Beautiful, ruddy and very tasty. However, do not forget, pilaf is coming soon, of course. And what is your favorite type of pilaf? Usually we cook pilaf with the brown rice. Devzira? Yes, we use devzira. These, all the words, sound to me like music, because I was born and raised in Tashkent, and of course I know all this well. And now I feel like I'm not just a guest, but to some extent maybe even at home. And in truth, this feeling is like a special heart balm, and I get from this unspeakable pleasure. Well, and the fact that I am going to earn new skills and new acquaintances, it is a special pleasure. The Uzbek housewives cook bread by themselves. They hardly ever buy ready bread. Bread is the stuff of life, as is known, and in any cuisine in the world there is surely a place for it. It would seem that everything is easy. Flour, water, some other ingredients, but for some reason the bread is always different. What kind of bread will we cook with you today? Here we will cook patır naan and obi naan. And there are kulchashki, kulcha naan. Kulcha is the smallest. Yes, we do this for children. Usually when the dough is made, we do kulchashki for children. And there is also such a song, Non epkanda, non epkanda, menin oim kichik, kulcha epa doim. Among the traditional types of bread, the patır is the festive bread, which is prepared from a rich dough, is distinguished by its elegant appearance and rather dense texture in its finished form. It is baked for holidays and weddings. It is brought when people go out on a visit. So generally, what does patır mean? It's usually made for weddings when visiting a house. We make it, the dough is a bit harder in the patır naan. We add eggs, butter and the dough is very rich. Obi naan is considered daily bread. The dough for it can be quite simple, which does not quite make it less tasty. That is, there have been different dough composition, right? Obi naan, if I'm not mistaken, its dough is simple. Yes, simple. And what do we add to the patır? We add butter, egg, and you can add a little bit of sugar. But what is this thing called? Çekiç. So the edges should be cut off with a knife so that when the cake is ready there will be beautiful lines. And when we press it like this, here is a secret. When you see such cakes on sale, you will not immediately understand how it was made. We make the middle the same and then here we separate the edges. Hard? Yes. Separate the edges hardly. And then when we do this, we make a pattern. You see, it's round like chamomile flowers. Small cakes called kulcha is worthy of special attention. Traditionally, such bread is baked when a newborn baby is 40 days old. 40 tortillas by the number of days should be prepared and handed out to 40 children. It is kulchanon. It is for children. We have a custom when children are born, when they are 40 days old, we must make 40 kulchanons. The shape of kulcha looks like a cup, and it's not accidentally. Traditional dessert halva itar is placed inside the cake. Needless to say that the kids love this dainty more than anything else. However, it is impossible to imagine Uzbek table without pilaf. Well, there is no Uzbek table without pilaf. It is the symbol of Uzbek cuisine. It's king. Pilaf is cooked in many cultures of the world, but Uzbek pilaf, at least in our regions, is considered the most beloved and perhaps the most delicious. And today we are going to check it. Well, Uzbek pilaf, here is the difference. We prepare a separate pilaf for guests. And in the spring, here we have dolma. It is called kavartak in Uzbek. We use the leaves of grapes and minced meat. Young leaves, very first, right? Yes, the very first ones. Kavartak, tiny dumplings like dolma are cooked directly inside the pilaf, and this is exclusively a spring ingredient. The stuffing is wrapped up in tender young grape leaves, the first that appear on the vines. I will, and I will. Come on, you will teach me. Let's do it together. Heroes of our today's episode are hospitable hosts of the traditional Uzbek house, and they are originally from the Osh region. And this region is famous for its unique rice variety known as the devzira. This is the so-called red rice which grows only in this region and moreover, which is characteristic nowhere in the world. It is also called uzgen. Today we will cook the most expensive rice. This is devzira. Red rice? Yes, this rice is different from all others. Pilaf made of this rice is unusual. It is different. Well, when you try, you say it's completely different taste. Carrot can also be different. This one, for example, is different from this one. This is a red carrot and this one is yellow. The taste is different and usually we cook from this, yellow. But we will mix. Then it will be beautiful. That is, we add red carrots for beauty too, but yellow is the main carrot, right? The main. Our housewives, they are always ready. There are always carrots at home. Everything is ready. We know the guests will come unexpectedly and we are ready to welcome guests every day. So we have everything ready for the pilaf. Mahrabo Opa will cook traditional pilaf typical for the Fergana Valley. There are practically no spices except for one. It's zira, also known as cumin, not to be confused with caraway. Zira is added in Uzbek cuisine to many meat dishes. Light aroma shades the taste of natural products, but does not prevail. The components of Uzbek pilaf are always typical: rice, meat, carrots, water, oil and salt. Everything else depends on the region of origin, the taste of the cook and his personal secrets. Pilaf, what awaits us today, is a very homely and very authentic. You won't find it in a cafe. Such pilaf can be only cooked at home. Due to the fact that the meat is cut into small pieces, this pilaf is cooked quite quickly. The housewife spent less than an hour on it. And now it's time to serve. And now, when everyone has gathered at the table and pilaf is served, only the most important words are left to say. Enjoy your meal, or Yokimli Ishtaha in Uzbek. Well, we are looking forward for new meetings and new exciting acquaintances. Acquaintances with people, culture and customs that peacefully get along under the large hospitable sky of Kazakhstan. It was the recipe for friendship, and me, Alevtina Madyarova, and we say goodbye to you, but not for long.